and this is my Windows Server environment. I am currently going to log into my server with this administrator account. So now I'm on the server here. Server do have RDP as well available, which is called remote. So you can open up the remote desktop connection. Actually, if you open up your file explorer, I'm just going through that. Yeah. So this is the remote desktop connection screen that you're looking at. What is this remote desktop connection is? This is the remote desktop connection screen that you're looking at. Same thing is available on Windows 10 as well. I'm just closing it right now. I'll open up this PC and go to, when I click on this PC and open up this environment, it is saying remote settings. Remote settings, when you open it up, if it is set to don't allow remote connections to this computer, nobody will be able to log on to this server. But who is allowed to log into the server? Allow remote connections to this to this computer, and this is the one. Allow network connections only from the computer running remote desktop with network level authentication. It is recommended. It is recommended that only people from the domain controller should be able to log in, not outside the domain controller. So if I'll uncheck that, I'm adding a little bit more risk to it, right? And who is selected? Let's see who is selected. Who is already selected? Let's remove Caden from here, and let's remove I created Caden account last week. So you probably saw that I call Caden.admin, and I explained the whole purpose of why I created that. But for now, I'm just going to remove that. Now look at this one. This is the line just above add button. What it says: DC-Kashan/administrator already has access. So probably DC-Shiv will have access to /administrator will have access to it. So network administrator has unrestricted authentication to any resource on the network. That's what we all know, right? Network administrator is the king of the jungle. He can go anywhere without any permission to be asked. So DC/Kashan. So I unfortunately I cannot remove the network administrator from remote desktop connection. He will be. Only way I can restrict administrator is by clicking do not allow remote connection to this computer at all. In that case, administrator will not be able to even log in. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to click OK and done. So I know that I can log into the server without. Okay. So let me just open up a couple of more fun things. Let's say, excuse me. So my control panel screen is here. My file explorer screen is here. And maybe if I am working on a notepad or something that is I was working upon, let's just open up a notepad. As you can see, 3 or 4 windows are currently open. 3 windows are open, right? And I'm working on it, and I'm just typing some garbage on it. That's fine. Now, if I put this a window aside and I go to my Windows 10 and I'll type what? Remote. When I type remote, it is a little bit slow, but when it will bring, what it is bringing me the screen, it brings me the remote desktop connection screen. Now, here's the fun fact coming out now. What was the IP address of my server? 192.168.0.10, correct? That was the IP address, and I'm not going to confirm that IP address. You all know where that IP address is. Is Caden is allowed? No, because I just removed him from that. So who can only log in? Administrator. So I'm going to just edit these credentials, and I'm going to say no. If that guy is not allowed, I will click on what? More choices, different account. Who is allowed to log in? Administrator and password is whatever the password is. and I will enter. And now when I try to click connect and hit connect, what will happen? Let's see. It is a little bit slower connection, but it is trying to be more secure, and it is going to go through the internal network because we are connected to the virtual machine through what? Through the internal network. So we will be able to connect to that machine using internal network. Everybody knows what I'm talking about in the internal network. You already know that machines, both machines, my server machine, I'm just confirming that on the network they are connected with which one? Internal network, and Windows 10 is also connected with what? Internal network. So only my client machine is allowed to connect to where? To my server. Okay, maybe I give the wrong password. Maybe I'll try it one more time. Administrator, and one more time. Let's wait for a second, and then it will connect. So you guys can try it at your system as well. Pull up the remote desktop and log in as administrator sitting on Windows 10 machine, and you should be able to connect to your Windows 10 machine. From your Windows 10 machine, you should be able to connect to your server. It takes a, I don't know why it's taking longer time on Windows, but let's see what happens. Once it connects, I will show you what happens. Usually in the non-virtual environment, it is very fast, but on the virtual machine, it is taking its sweet time. Oh. Okay, so now I'm standing in my Windows 10, and what happens? You see a blue bar on the top of my screen. What is happening? It is bringing that entire interface here in Windows 10 machine. So because we have a lab setup here, we are able to connect quickly to our server. Now what I'm seeing? I'm seeing the remote desktop connection of my server. Where? On my Windows 10 machine. What was the software we used? Remote desktop connection. Without any programming, so much life of easy of a network guy, right? He's just he's just filling up the IP address gaps. That's all, and he's able to connect to that server. What has actually happened? The behind the scenes, look at that. What happened? If I go to my Windows Server machine, I was logged on, but my screen is now locked out. Go to your server and look at that. Your machine is locked now. Why your machine is locked? The interface for it, because two cooks cannot jump into the same desktop. You understand that? What is happening? The interface that I opened up when I was standing physically in front of the server, what was showing? The notepad, the file explorer, whatever I was there. But immediately when I logged in, what happened? It locked this interface, and which interface is open? On my RDP, which is the short form of remote desktop connection, on my RDP, I'm seeing the interface from there. Now, here's the few things that you wanted to look out now. I'm standing on RDP, right? And I'll click on Task Manager, and I wanted to see who is logged in. What are the few ways that we can find out who is currently logged in? I right click on the taskbar, and I went in where? In the Task Manager, and I will click where? On the users. It will going to be showing me who is logged in. Sorry, I logged in later last time, but we will see that. Forget about kden.admin right now, but you see who is currently logged in. administrator is logged in. From where? From the remote desktop. So keep in mind, if one who's the administrator? Administrator is one network administrator. If he's standing in front of the server, in the server room, in front of the monitor, right, and he's doing his thing, that is fine. But when he comes back to his desk and he use RDP to do that, the interface over there in the server room will get temporarily locked. So what was happening in my work situation? I was logging in as a, so now this is a critical thinking question for you. I was working on a server. My manager is also working on the server. He was RDPing it from his site and I'm RDPing it from my site. He was in the middle of work and I wanted to start the work. When I log in, his interface gets what? His interface gets locked out like this, and I kind of kicked him out of his session. Then there's a race between him and me. He will log in and I will log in, and I will log in and he will log in, and this and that. Otherwise, you will say, okay, are you working or I am working, right? So he will send out the email. What is the solution for that? Bearing in mind, RDP can allow, I'm giving you a hint now. RDP can allow multiple users. RDP can allow multiple users to jump into the server. One more hint I've given. What will be the solution? Sign in as a different user. Right. But do every user has the permission to sign in? No. Who should be signing into the server? Administrator. Now one more knowledge from the last week. Bring that on. Yes, exactly. So create administrator users, Kden.admin, Kashan.admin, Shiv.admin, all the people who want to work on that, or Cassandra.admin, everybody who wants to work on that, create .admin accounts for those people and give them. So RDP does not allow you that multiple accounts cannot log in. RDP on the server does allow you to log in multiple computers on the server. So let's do that actually. Let's do that. You probably have the hint on the screen as well. The hint was lying on the screen. I was able to log in. So, but you remember I locked Kden, I removed Kden from the list. So let me go back into the server. Going to log back into it onto the server. I'm going to enter the password. It's always challenging to bring the password right away in your brain. So I am now logging in. When I log in, what will happen? See that message. What is being shown on my Windows 10 interface? You have been disconnected because another connection was able to made on the. So I'm now physically standing on the server. So when I standing physically on the server, what happened? My remote desktop connection from my Windows 10 machine got disconnected, and it is notifying that, hey, somebody else logged in front of the server or from another RDP session. That guy is kicked out. So only one person, only one administrator at the time at one interface. That is the easiest answer to that. So to do that, so I need to work, you need to work on the server as an administrator. Maybe I have some other task to do and you guys have some other task to do and somebody else has another task to do on the server, which is a dangerous thing in itself. If somebody is an administrator on the server, not too many administrators should be given to spoil that food, because server is a big food, right? And we don't want to spoil all that food. So we want to make sure anybody who has the credibility of the work, who is capable of doing the work on the server, should be logging in. But keeping that aside, I will go where? I will go into my remote desktop, remote settings on the server. And what I will do on the remote settings on the server, select user, and I'm going to add which user? Yes, exactly. So I'm going to add Kden Kden.admin. When I will say select, it says Kden.admin is added now to that. So now who can log in to the server? Kden.admin can log in from RDP session. So I'm going back into my RDP, click on remote, but this time I'm not going to connect with what? I'm not going to connect with Kashan/administrator. I am going to connect with Kden.admin. So I'm going to go more, different account, click on, and I am going to enter his password and will be logging in. So now, if period, the point that I was trying to make, that network administrator account should not be touched by multiple people. That is one thing. If you wanted to give the permission to allow multiple people to log in, rule of thumb, create .admin accounts for them. And then everybody who wants to work on the server can jump into the server knowing that they are credible users anyways that are capable to do the work on the server. Not everybody should be allowed to be jumping onto the server. Now when I will log in, let's see, hopefully I log in. I don't know why it is slow connecting. Okay, now it's getting faster. Now this time I'm logging in as what? I'm logging in as this guy, and you see how many people are connected now? Administrator is login when he's standing in front of the server in the server room, or probably RDPing into it. And then who is logged in? Kden is also logged in from the remote desktop session. So I can see how many users are logged in. Now here's the fun part. I want to send message to Kden. I want to send the message to who? Administrator. So I'm logged in as admin and I'm going to send a message to administrator. Should be a very welcoming message. Not saying that log off guy. Okay. So when I say log off and send the message to the administrator, let's open my server screen. Here's my server screen. Here's that message, right? So I can do text messaging between myself. So I'm logged in both interfaces and I can send. So now I will say, Kden, you know the answer, how to reply back, right? You will say something. So, okay, you log off first, right, or something. So if I'll go back here and click on administrator, administrator can send the message to whom? You log off first. I'm just having fun here, but I'm just saying, I just send a message back to here, to my Windows 10 Pro, where I'm logged in as RDP, and now I'm sending message between. But point is not sending the message. You can send a message to each other on WhatsApp or a text message. Point is not, was just, I don't know, very old stage, and I don't know, once this message is clicked OK, that message kind of get lost, right? It's not like a, probably you can find the traces of this message in the event viewer, but I'm not going to go and trace this message back somewhere. But point is, you can see that who is logged in at anybody who is the administrator should be allowed to log in. Well, it is a dangerous thing to do, but yes, you can allow ordinary user to be logged in as well to the server, which is a dangerous thing to do as well. I'm going to select user, and I know that K Khan is not an administrator, but I will type K Khan, which is just a standard user. Can I add that guy to here? Yes, I can. But again, we should not be allowing standard users to be logging into the server. So I'm just going to kick this guy out, remove that. Part of the matter is that on the server machine, in the server manager, this guy should be available where? In the Active Directory users and servers, computers. He should be in which group? He should be added to the administrators group so he can log in. If he is not in the administrator group, and let's see, where is he? network admins. This was the guy that I was adding last week. I'll go to properties, member of which group? Member of administrators group. And I think he is a member of remote desktop users as well, which I think it is added by default when you add him to the remote desktop settings, it gets added here automatically. So do you understand the whole working behind it? What is the purpose of administrator account? And now how dangerous it, so you can do, if you share the password of the network administrator with multiple guys, you don't know who did what, because you are logged in as administrator and I am logged in as administrator. I cannot have traceability. But now if I say Alessandra.admin and Kashan.admin or Shiv.admin or whoever logged in, I can say it was done by dash.admin account. Then I can point out to that. So this is the whole reason. So instead of using TeamViewer or AnyDesk or any other software like that, avoid using that, but use .admin accounts and use remote desktop. But only thing is, remote desktop only works best in the domain controller environment, where you are connected with the domain controller and domain controller with ADDS and all those accounts. It is not, it is free, but it is not free for non-domain controller accounts. That's why TeamViewer is the one people use most, because regardless whether you have it or not, you can do it. Now question is, can I connect to Windows 10 machine from the server? What's the point? Yes, I can. Now here is the catch, guys. Catch is, yes, you can connect to the Windows 10 machine using Windows Server RDP. You can. You want to try that? Yes, that is a try for you guys in the class. You guys can try that. But point that I want to make here before you guys start doing that. So connect from the server to which machine? To the Windows 10 machine. You can. What is the IP address of the 10 machine? 0.9. So you can connect to that as long as you are standing on the server and you can connect. But Windows 10 does not allow, Windows 10 and Windows 11 do not allow multiple people to be logged in. Only which machines allow? Server machines allow that. So keep that in mind. So if somebody is working on the 10 machine, who will, regardless whether it's an administrator or XYZ. So let me, who is currently signed in? Okay, so let me sign out from here. I was working as a Caden from where? From my Windows 10 machine. Now I'm going to log in. So who is currently logged in here? K Khan is logged in. So how can I know who is logged in? Again, you guys remember that? Go to the task manager. Who is logged in? More details. Users. Who is logged in? Only K Khan is logged in, right? So let's kick that guy out. If I go to my Windows Server machine, click on remote. Oh, okay. Click on remote, and now this time I'm going to log into 192.168.0.9, and this time I'm going to log in. So first it will ask for the IP address. So let's see, it is going to connect. Why it's taking longer? Are you guys trying from your server machine to 10? Is it taking longer? Oh, you know why? Can anybody tell me why I get this error? Thank you. Where I need to go first? File Explorer. I should probably create the shortcut of it, because I feel this in virtual machines. I get this all the time. When I'm typing here, it's not letting me open up the, it's a virtual machine bug or something. Uh, no, it will take all the time. So enable remote desktop on Windows 10 machine and then try to connect from the server to this machine. File. Yeah. Into this one's better. So I'm trying, as you guys are trying as well. What should need to be enabled? Remote desktop connectivity. Oh. I will go to advanced system setting or remote desktop, whichever I want to go to. I will click on rename this PC is my way to go all the time. I'll need to enter what? Because it is disabled, I need to enable it, administrator, and the password is whichever password is that I am entering. Logging in. There you go. Here you go. There's your answer. If I go to remote, what was disabled? Remote desktop connection is not allowed. So I will say allow and click apply. Now, when I go to the server, so it's a two-way connectivity now. You guys get it? So now I will go and try to connect to where? To my Windows 10 machine. Tell me if it works. So how can I resolve the connectivity issue if it does not work? No? Is it working, guys? I'm getting the same error. I'm very amused because same thing. Remember, I think they are on the same network, so they should be able to connect. An IP address is there. Okay, let's try to pass the computer name. What was the computer name? Yeah, this is this funny computer name. So I will just try to enter the computer name instead of the IP address because I have DNS installed. So maybe that is the issue, but let's see. Desktop. So you see you can enter the computer name or the IP address. Both should work because it is resolving because of the DNS server install. 86 U23. Is it? Yeah. So why not me? Okay, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to enter the computer name, it works, but it does not work with the IP address. Your work with the IP address. Yeah. We all have the same kind of a network setup, so why? Very interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to thank you, but you give me some courage to have that. Okay, now I'm going to log in as what? Administrator. So yeah, Shiv, you can enter the computer name, but it was really, does it work with the computer name? Okay, let me know. I'm interested. Okay, remember this. So I'm logging in from my Windows server. I'm trying to log in on my Windows 10 machine. But keep in mind, as I told you, server machine does not allow, well, Windows 10 machine does not allow people to be logging in on Windows 10 because Windows 10 is made for what? Just for one client. That's why it does not allow. So it says, hey, another user is signed in and they will be disconnected from the work they are doing. So there used to be a patch which probably hackers have made that they will try to replace one file in the Windows 10 machine, which allows multiple people to be logged in onto. So I was a little cheap in buying my son a laptop, and I said, I'm not going to buy you a computer. You RDP into my computer and play games while I'm working on my thing, and you can RDP. We were on the same network, and he To be honest, RDP is not very graphics friendly. So when he was trying to play games, he was all lagging, and he said, "No, I'm not going to use this." And but experiment did work at that time that he was able to log into my computer.
I logged in as an admin and just automatically put the other person out of it.
Yeah. So if he's working on something really important, sorry, he will be kicked out. Let's see. So there was something called there is a file which people used to patch all the time, and that file, if that file gets patched, then multiple people can log in to that. But who knows who created that file, right? It is just some random person created that patch file, and he can probably log into your network. So but I tried it and I tried it on the virtual machines, and it did not work for me at my home. So I said okay. So now I booted it and I'm now logged in. So you guys understand the whole purpose of bouncing back between administrator and this and that, and multiple people cannot log in. So it's a good learning part, I think, for use of security. It has a security to it. As you see, if when you are connecting, it is checking the network level security. It's not allowing you to just double click on it and boom, you are inside. It is asking for the passwords and then you are able to log in. So I always recommend using RDP, not TeamViewer. At least I never recommend to install TeamViewer on the servers. One last thing, and I will mention you what. Okay, so it says now logging in, and this is the first time probably I'm logging in. So it is probably creating the profile of the administrator on my Windows 10 machine. That is why it is a little bit darker for a very long time. But why? You know the answer. It is creating the profile from where? From the default folder in the profiles. Remember that? C users. Which folder is that? In the C users, there's a folder called default, and then it copies the whole folder, create a new profile, and go there. So let's verify that. So now, instead of IP address, unfortunately, I'm logged in. Why I'm not logged in as an IP address is still a little bit of mystery to me, but one of the guy in the class has done, so I'm okay with that. At least it's working, so I'm not going to break everything for that. But when I'm logged in as an administrator, you will see that my new profile is created, and where it will be created? Under users. There you go, the administrator. Oh, I logged in a few days ago as well. So you can see my profile is created as an administrator. This is not local administrator. This is who administrator? Yes, network administrator. So all the people who are logging in are getting their profile created. Any questions? Okay. One last thing that I wanted to mention. So I am standing on the server and I'm logged in here. One last thing that I wanted to mention before the end of the class, I will get disconnected. So yes, keep in mind, if you are trying to troubleshoot using RDP to your friends, they will be kicked out and you will be kicked in. So that is the only thing. But if you guys want to work together, that he takes the control of the mouse and you take the control of the mouse sometimes here and there, then you cannot do that using RDP. Keep that in mind. You need to use TeamViewer. Okay, if I am doing something on the screen and my friend wants to do the same thing at the same time on the screen, RDP will not allow that. You will have to kick out that person and then you will log in and do it. For that kind of inconvenience, then you will need to use. Let me show you how to do this, how to do that. That you cannot do with RDP. For that, you will need to use what? Remote desktop connection. And for that, the cheapest and the $0 one is which one? Google Remote Desktop. Google Remote Desktop is free add-on which comes with Google Chrome add-on. You can install it and start using that. The only thing it asks you the PIN number, and that's all. You will just enter the PIN number here. So you can log into your parents' laptop in India or Philippines from here. No problem. You don't have to pay anything. TeamViewer used to be free 10 years ago, but then they realized they can make money. Yeah, now they are making a lot of money. AnyDesk is buggy. AnyDesk works, but AnyDesk has a little bit of bug is that if you are starting to use 3 or 4 computers, then it will forget your settings on some remote PCs. So I throw that in the garbage as well. So I'm using remote desktop. Last thing that I want to mention, guys, is that I'm going into that. So why the screen is smaller now? It has its own mind sometimes. Scale mode. Yes, please. I want to. So ugly. Now I'm going to. Okay. Win server. Oh, sorry. So now I'm logging in as Kashan. Remember, we used to have an account on this machine when we did not join this computer to the domain. What was the account? My very first account that I created using on this machine. I think it was Control-C. Yeah. My very first account that I created on this machine before joining the domain. What was that account? Let's see where I can find the users and computers. Go into the control panel. Let's recall some of the accounts that we have created. Can you go into a control panel as well? So I'll type Windows R control panel. Instead of waiting for a control panel to show up and wasting time, I just type control panel and go to user accounts. And in the user accounts, you might recall some accounts that you have created. Manage user accounts. If you click on the manage user accounts, oh yeah, again, so every time it's a pain now because I'm a domain user. Having an administrator account, it will not let you forget the administrator password. It just asks you every time. So if I go on advanced, I'm just searching for it because it's been a long time I've not been to this place. Yeah, users, and these are all the users. This was the very first account that I created when I was installing Windows 10 on as a virtual machine. Do you guys have that account, that kind of account sitting there, right? What does this account means? This account is disabled. Why? This is the local administrator account. This is not the network administrator. This is the local administrator account that comes with the Windows 10. Disabled. It is disabled. What is this account? Windows 10 Pro 2 account that I created when I was installing this virtual machine for the first time. Okay. Can I ever log into this account ever? Well, these accounts have become what? Kind of useless at this point, because we are using which accounts? We are using accounts that are created in Active Directory. We are using those accounts now to log into our Windows 10 because our Windows 10 Pro machine, which is professional machine, is now being used. What is now using those account more? Can I delete those accounts? No, keep them as a backdoor entry. So in case something happens, you can always log in with those accounts. But here is the catch. If you want, you need to write these accounts and their passwords somewhere on the paper. So let me enter the new password because to be honest, I forget the password for it. Windows 10 Pro 2. This is the password. Windows 10 Pro 2, and I will enter that password. Oh, what is that? The password does not meet the policy. Then I will definitely forget that password. No, yeah. Give me some easy password. ABC123. ABC123. I know it will complain, but yeah. ABC123 at the rate. Okay. Yeah. So the password of it is changed. So Windows 10 Pro username password is changed, and I'm going to enable administrator account one the local administrator. I'm going to enable this guy as well. Properties, and I'm going to what the account by default when you install Windows 10 Pro, administrator account is disabled. Why? But it is disabled. So I'm going to enable that. Yes. It is saying that before you enable that account, please set the strong password for it. So I will say set password, proceed, and I'm honest, I'm not working on the server right now. I'm working on my Windows 10. ABC123 at the rate. What's the password? ABC123 at the rate. Okay. So the account administrator account has a password, same password, and Windows 10 Pro account has the same password. Now let's go and enable these guys. And the reason I'm saying keep these passwords same across your multiple Windows 10 Pro machines. Why? Sometimes what happens is that network connectivity between the client and the machine and the domain gets broken for no reason. Right? When somebody is trying to log in and it happens, every month or two, there will be 1 or 2% that will be complaining. So I'm just telling you right now, there might be some strong connection that we can establish. But generally in this environment, in this lab environment, if you have a client that was connected to the server with the domain controller, sometimes it can get broken. And what is your way to fix it? I'm telling you that right now. So you need to remember two things. Definitely you need to remember two things. One is the administrator, local administrator username and password, or the one account that you created in the past. So enable that and give them the same password. This is the trick that I'm telling you. So now what will happen? Because if you forget that, what you'll need to do is I'm not going to do that right now because my system is perfectly working okay. But I'm going to show you why I'm saying that. So let me take a picture of my computer name because I will forget that. What was the name of my computer? Probably you don't know, and you probably don't know what is your Windows 10 Pro virtual machine name is. Do you guys remember it? No. So let me take the picture of it as well. I'll go here, File Explorer. Where is my File Explorer? Goes all the time. So I'm going to say, yeah, File Explorer, and right click on this and go Properties. Because I don't have a cheat sheet, so I'm just going to take a picture. What is the computer name? Do you guys have a very garbage computer name as well of your virtual machine? What is that? Desktop blah blah blah, right? Desktop dash blah blah blah. So I'm going to take that as a picture, or I will take a snippet of it, snipping tool. So I'm just going to use a snipping tool right now and take a picture. So I will not forget that. Now I'm just keeping this aside. See how useful it will become. Right click on my system and I'm going to click what? Sign out. So I'm going to I'm signing out right now. And remember I mentioned I'm doing it for a purpose of backdoor entry. It's a backdoor entry. So now network administrator will not log in. No network user will be able to log in. Only who I will log in when this machine was initially created, where it was initially it was on work group environment. Remember that work group environment? We change it from work group to where? To the domain. But can we still log into the work group? Yes, we can. Let's go and input keyboard. And this time, look at that few things. I want to mention that. Type administrator. As soon as you type administrator, what change in the bottom? Sign into, you see, desktop dash blah 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 blah, right? If I go back a little bit, what it changed? DC dash Kashan. So if I wanted to log in as a network administrator, what should I do? Yeah, you need to type what? Administrator @ DC dash Kashan. This is the proper way to log in. Proper long way of typing it. Okay? Or either click where? Click on this one. This is the proper way. Or, but now my challenge is that I wanted to log in as a local administrator, not as a network administrator. So what does local administrator do? It has a full privilege on this entire virtual machine regardless of a network administrator. So I'm going to log in as administrator, and then I'm going to enter what? The password which I created for this account. Remember, I went into my control panel and I set the password. So there were two guys that Windows 10 Pro 2 and the administrator. So I enabled the administrator account and I'm going to log in as ABC123 @. Now what is going to happen? I am now disconnected from the, I'm still the part of domain, but for time being, I'm logging in as what? As a backdoor entry on this computer as a local guest Windows 10 administrator only. I have nothing to do with the network administrator right now. I'm just logging in. This is the first time that I'm logging in. Now look at that. Once I will log in, this is the first time I'm logging in as an administrator on this machine. So now it is setting up the profile. When we will go to the users folder this time, you will see there was already an administrator and there's a new administrator that I'm logging in. You will see the difference in the profile. What will be the difference? Now, one was the network administrator logging in and one is this one. So what will happen to the profile? Administrator and administrator, computer will be pulling his hairs. Which administrator will be logging in? Is that the network administrator or is this the local administrator? Local administrator we are logging in. So the profile will be created for which one? For the local administrator. And how it will distinguish that, you will see that on my computer. Once it decides to log in, because it's creating the profile again from the default folder, and every time it logs in, it creates the profile from the default folder. So sorry, you guys have to wait for that. So what is the next thing you guys are doing today? Is take this snapshot, because we have moved forward again in our journey of the virtual machine. And the other thing that I usually do, probably after a month or two, I will click on the virtual box. While it's loading, I'm going to show you. I will export the appliance out on my external hard drive. So I'm not losing these. It's not very frequent that I will do that, but I will recommend you to do that. So you have one more layer of backup. Once I log in, so snapshot is the way to go. So this is for every computer. I think the better next time when I will be teaching this course, I will be asking people to rename not only the domain controller, but also their Windows 10 machine as well, because this is not a good name to remember. And usually in the office environment, everybody will have workstation dash 01, workstation dash 02, workstation dash 03. So that way you will, and you will have an Excel sheet of who has workstation 01, workstation 02. So next time you go and sit on that computer, you know that if I need to do a backdoor entry, I will type workstation 01 slash administrator and then the password. Every password for the network administrator, for the local administrator account should be unique. And it is equally important, don't give out that password to, but a lot of IT support people always know that the local administrator password is that, because you cannot create .admin account on the locals as well. So okay, yes, making everything sure. So once it's ready, are you guys logged in to your Windows 10 using administrator? If you are, let me know. Are you?
No, just took snapshots. So there's just watching yours.
Okay, no worries. So after the break and you guys are coming back, we have a quiz, I guess, right? And then we will be installing Kali Linux. So you have some time, but when you come, I think we are talking few weeks away, but download Kali Linux ISO file at home so that we can install Kali Linux. Kali Linux is actually specialized Linux for hacking. So, but we will use it for better reasons. We will be using a little bit, but now that we have Windows machines, I will be switching between Windows topics and Kali topics in between time. So we will be looking at all the security aspects, with whether it's Windows and Windows Server. So don't throw away these machines. Keep these machines. I will give you some inside knowledge and topics that I will be covering as we go. Okay, finally. Okay, so how can I, while it's loading that, okay, I have a trick. What is the trick? I'm getting impatient now. So what I did is I can go onto my Windows machine standing from where? From the server, and look at the folder structure there. So how can I do that? What was the computer name? What is the computer name? Yes, desktop. Yeah, desktop. Yeah, 86U. Yeah, finally. Because I'm getting impatient and it is not listening to me. So I will say slash. Well, it's there. I can see the users folder standing from here, right? What is this? Administrator and administrator dot desktop. So this is how it resolved the conflict on its own. And yeah, finally, when I said that